Hi everybody, it's Sally from Sallystampers. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm bringing you my double hexagon treat box. It's quite a pretty little box. I've used that gorgeous Whimsy and Wonder DSP. It has a little magnetic closure here, and then as it opens up, now I have popped a couple of these gorgeous Frere Roches inside, but if you take them out, you can see that you've got two sort of boxes, if you like, that are quite nice to fill with a little gift or some jewellery. You could pop some tissue paper inside maybe, and then it just closes together. And I have put a little insert just here, if you can see, just to assist in keeping it rigid, if you like, otherwise it'd possibly move around. I did make the centimetre version. Where's the front? There we go. As I say, it's similar size, maybe like 0.1 of a centimetre taller. It's pretty much the same size. There's probably just a fraction more in the sort of size of the base, but other than that, as I say, it's practically the same size as this one. So let's go ahead and make it. I have done a few bits ahead of time just because you don't want to see me just cutting and scoring card. So to start off with then, you're going to need 2 pieces of cardstock, as you can see. Oh, gone blurry. As you can see, I've done this one ready, but 2 pieces of cardstock that are 9.5 by 4 1/8. That'll be 25.5 by 10.5. There are quite a lot of measurements for this, so I have got them all on my blog. I'm going to move that one out of the way. Obviously, whatever we do with this one piece here, you're going to do with both pieces. But as I say, I've done it ahead of time just to save time. So on the short side, we're going to score at 1 1/4 and 2.5 centimetres. That will be 3 and 6 centimetres. And now I just need to check which way we're going to rotate this. So yeah, we're going to rotate it clockwise. And we're going to score at 1 1/2, 3, 4.5, 6, 7.5 and 9. And in centimetres that will be 4, 8, 12, 16, 20 and 24. Nice and easy. Okay, we're going to fold and burnish all of these score lines. And unfortunately, as you know, I do film my videos ahead of time. So I'm actually filming these mid-October, even though they're coming out to you in November. So if anybody makes any comments on my videos, there's a chance that it won't be till the following month that I will be able to reply to you. As I say, unfortunately, it's just the way I work with my videos and my filming and things like that. But I did want to say that a lot of people commented on my video that came out yesterday, which, as I say, was sort of early to mid-October. My dog had a very small amount of chocolate, and I'm very aware of how ill it can make them. Thankfully she didn't get a lot, and I have since learnt to now keep my craft room doors shut. It's only because when I'm preparing my videos I have them lined up on the floor in order in little boxes. She'd obviously got a head in there and decided to pinch one, but as I say, she is absolutely fine, and I am very, very mindful of the dangers of chocolate and dogs. But thank you for your concern. Okay, so once we have done our folding and scoring, we're going to start with this thin strip on the right hand side, and we're basically going to cut away the top and the bottom and just create a small wedge out of the centre piece that's left. Okay, so you've just got this little tab now in the centre. The larger section should be at the bottom, and then we're just simply going to cut up each one of these as we go along, all the way up to that first vertical score line, horizontal score line. Okay, so we're just going to cut up those. We're now going to turn it round, so I've now got the narrow end to work on. I'm having to turn this piece around just to guide me because I did it a little while ago. Okay, and what we're going to do here is we're going to cut down this section, and then we're just going to cut a slither away down to the next one and cut a slither away, and you're just going to work your way down. You don't need to wedge both sides, so we're just literally going down each one to cut a little wedge out. And then don't forget to just do this one on the end. Okay, so when you've done that, you'll have two pieces that look like this. Okay, and then we just simply need to add our DSP squares onto the centre. So you will need 12 of these, and these are 1 3/8 by 1 1/8, 3.3 by 2.7. Okay, so what you do need to do though, which I actually did wait and do this, is decide which piece you're having as your front. So for me it'll be this one. So I'm just going to put a small pencil cross on there because that is the one I want my magnet on. So this is the base, so I'm going to leave that piece of DSP over here and put it on last because I need to put my magnet on, but obviously it needs to be in the right place. So it's going to pop all of these on, but unfortunately I couldn't really do this bit. Well, I could have put some on, but as you can see it doesn't take long to pop all of these on. As I say, just remember to leave that last one so you can pop your magnet on when you need to. Okay, so that's that one. I so love this DSP. It's just so pretty. The silver that shines through, just, I don't know, it is just so pretty. I love our speciality paper and the way that they just put just enough bling and shine on it to make it just so beautiful. Okay, so let's pop these last ones on. Okay, right, so the next thing we need to do is to obviously put some adhesive on here. I'm going to go with this monster that made me cross yesterday when I was doing stuff. So just make sure these two lines, these two score lines meet up. And then for your base here, what you want to do is, where's the join gone again? Oh, there it is. Okay, so what I'm going to do, and I actually saw this on another video and I can't remember whose it was, but I would normally just work my way around and then try and fight with the shape. But I saw this and it actually made perfect sense. So I'm going to run some adhesive just across that edge there. And then I'm just going to fold opposites together. I'm going to use my fingers either side of the tab here to make sure they stay together, and then I'm just gently going to squeeze my box here at the sides just to make sure it's the right shape. I'm not going to press that too hard because I want to do the same again with these two, but I also need to just make sure that the box is the right shape. Yes, there we go. So I can now press from underneath on the inside just to make sure those adhesives are stuck. And then this last one, you can use wet glue. Obviously that is a lot easier when you're doing it like this. I'm just doing this for speed more than anything else. So just make sure they still line up. And then I am actually going to use some wet glue here. This is to reinforce these inside pieces really. I don't need a great deal. I don't use this very much, but, well, not with you guys, but when I'm doing my prepping of them, so when I made that, the original one here, I would have used wet glue on it. Again, if you want to use pegs or paper clips to hold it down, to make sure it just stays where it should and dries, then feel free. But there is, well, that actually is going to be my lid. Okay, so then I have, and I'm just going to pop these on now, layering circles. So I've just die cut these to pop on the top and on the insides. Again, I'm going to go with some wet glue here. I'm going to pop this one just on the inside. Leave that. I'm not going to put the top on because that's obviously where my decoration needs to go. So I'm going to leave that to one side for a moment while I make this one up. So it's exactly the same way. If you wanted to, you could put these on at this point. Doesn't really matter which way round you do it. So that's the front. Yes, that's right. So my base, I just need to... Okay, so pop these two down. And what you probably could do here as well is, no, you can't. If you was to fold these down first, you could sit it on the top just to make sure it retains the shape that it needs. But as I say, I haven't done that. So a little bit more here. Yeah, so I can feel now that this isn't quite right, because when I want to put these together, it's taking this one. So let's try that again. This bit is a little bit fiddlier because you've got to make sure you get everything lined up. There we go. And because I didn't press that adhesive down too hard, I was able to just manipulate it from the inside. So this is the last one here. Okay. And then I'm going to pop my circles. Oh no, I'm not. I'm going to do this bit, aren't I? Nearly forgot. Okay. Do that bit first. So pop all these down. And then I just use my bone folder actually. It does help spread the glue and get that adhesive working straight away. Okay, and then yeah, get this put on the inside. It just hides those joins really. Oh, bless me. And then one on the bottom here. Okay. Oh, got an itch on my foot. Okay, so now that those are made together, you need to find your join, and obviously they are going to sit together like so. Okay, but what you do need is your little hinge on the inside. So this was a little bit of trial and error as well. So your hinge is 1.5 by 2.5 or 4 by 6, and you score it in half on the excuse me, on the long side at 1.25, which is 3 centimeters. Give it a good fold, and then what you need to do is, obviously it's opposite this piece here. I need to pop it just in the back there, and fold it over. Now if you want to give it a real slim trim, and I mean a real slim trim, then obviously you can. And then just pop it in there. But what you want to do is, there's the join, maybe butt these up together and then try and do it, because if you try and do one before the other, for some reason it just doesn't play ball. I don't understand why. So wet glue on the piece I've done, and trust me, wet glue will be your friend with this because it is a bit fiddly. So I'm going to slide that in there, and then some on here. Put those up together and tuck that in, but you also need to make sure that when you close it up you don't get a gap. So it's, as I say, it is a bit of a fiddly one here, but you just sort of have to play with it a little bit. Once you've got it, as I say, just make sure that it sits nicely here and doesn't create any gaps really. Okay, so hinge is now in place. So now I want to do my insert, that little lip that just stops the top from sliding all over the place and keeps it structured. So yes, I can do this with, yes. So you need your insert to be 6 3/4 by 2 3/4 or 9.1 by 7 centimetres. On the short side we're going to score at 1 3/8 or 3.5 centimetres, and then doesn't matter which way you rotate it. I'm going to rotate mine clockwise, and then we're going to score at 1 3/8, 2 3/4, 4 1/8 and 5.5. Centimetres are slightly different, so it's 3.7, 7.6, 11.5 and 15.4. As I said, I have done the maths for the centimetre one. So fold and burnish, and you will notice that we are a section missing, but that's because we have the hinge, so you don't need one where that goes. And then we simply fold it in half, the short side, fold it in half, and then this just literally sits inside your box. Okay, so we're going to get some, I'm going to use this one I think, just because it will be slightly quicker on this here. So I'm going to fold that over and give it a little bit of a burnish, and then just give those a little, and then you just need to pop these into place. Now again, you can use pegs or paper clips or anything you have to hand. Again, I'm going to go with some wet glue. Now remember that this sits proud, so if I put this back in again, so it sits proud by a tiny bit, so don't glue all the way to the top. Okay, and then I'm simply going to pop this in, and you can sort of put these ends together and it will make it narrower to fit in. Okay, and then it opens out, and I always start with this front section. Pop the peg on. Oh, crumbs, got stuck up then. Then this one, and then this one, and then the last two here and here. Now you will notice that you have a slight, it's slightly short, but that's fine. So I'm going to leave that just for the time being, just to adhere, and I'm going to do my top decorating, etc. So the first thing I'm going to make up actually is this little strip here for the closure, which I've called the latch. So you need a piece of your cardstock that is 3/4 by 2.5 or 2 by 6 centimetres, and your DSP is 1/2 by 2 1/4, 1.5 by 5.5 centimetres. Now I did round the corners, which almost looks amusing. It works really well with this. It makes the DSP just have a point, but I quite like it. And it saves it being just a square piece of DSP, doesn't it? So I'm going to pop this onto here. Come on. Thank you, thank you. So I'm just going to sit this. I'm not worried too much about the top section. I just want to get it in place. There we go. So that's on there ready. And then I'm also going to add some of my DSP, as I say, just layering circles on the top. So that's ready. And then my last little piece is I have a square of vellum, and I don't have my stamp set out, which is very bad of me. Here it is, my whimsical trees. Just this nice little sentiment at the top here that I am going to heat emboss in silver onto here. So just in the centre there. And then I have my silver embossing powder that I have in this fabulous little plastic tub. Just sprinkle it over, tap it off, and then I've just got a tiny bit there, look, where I don't want, so we'll just wipe that off. Put this away. Oops, spoon's alive. And then I'm just going to quickly get my heating tool and heat this up. And anybody that's new to heat embossing, don't be afraid. It is fabulous. It will change your life, and it really doesn't take very long at all. So that's that done, and now I have that beautiful silver sentiment. I just then need my scalloped layering circle, and I'm going to use my mini cut and emboss, which is my favourite, and just going to pop this on here. Excuse me. And then run this through pop that out of the way, that over there, take that out from there. This is now going to go on top of here. And I was a little bit clever because I attached this with glue dots, which you may think, well, that's a little bit crazy because you can see them. And that is why I have, oops, oh my goodness, can't say it, strategic placed gems on the other side. Okay, so, excuse me, that sits just in the centre there, and then I use the Silver and Clear Epoxy Essentials, and I use these lovely circles that are virtually the same size as the glue dots, and just hid them. So it looks like you've got a nice little pattern going on, but when the reality is you're actually hiding your glue dots. Okay, so again, some adhesive on here. Notice I've left a tiny bit here, because when you pop this on, oh crumbs, that hasn't worked quite as I planned, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, so I'm going to stick this on here. Just give it just a second for my adhesive to take hold. Okay, now this, I actually didn't, let's take these up now. I didn't score this, I simply, let's just put that together, there we go, beautiful box. So what I'm going to do here, obviously this is where we left for the magnet. The magnet's going to go on the inside of here, but I'm just going to tuck this under just enough to cover that DSP, and then I literally just bent it down so that I know that it will catch where I'm going to put my magnet in the centre. And then I can now add, and in fact I'm not going to use wet glue because I can't really sit here and hold it, so I'm going to run some adhesive, oh actually that will work quite well, under here, double the thickness there, and then I'm simply going to pop this under there, make sure it's straight and press it down. And that is my latch now in place. I'm just going to pop one more of my epoxy gems on the latch there, and then I just need to add my magnets, don't I? And my last piece of DSP. So I have these two small magnets here, my last piece of DSP, and my glue dots. And my take your pick is here. So glue dot is going to go on here, and I'm going to put one of my magnets on top and just press it down, and then I'm going to add adhesive onto here, but I'm also going to put some on here to hold my magnet in place. And the best way to do that is, right, so I know it's that way, so I need to pop that on here, that way up. I'm going to have to eyeball this because if I put it too close together, oops, that will happen. However, I'm pretty confident now that that is where it needs to be. Pop my DSP over the top, make sure it's straight, and all being well, there we go. Ta-da! Managed it. There you go. A little bit longer than anticipated, but there's my double hexagon treat box. Thanks for joining me, guys, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.